Hey gang, welcome to another installment of Old Men Yell at Cloud. I am Patrick.
I'm Christopher.
Oh my god, hey, I'm Jim.
Alright, why the hell not? Alright, today, very special guest, an old friend of mine.
He doesn't look that old.
He's not very old. He's an old man in training.
The friendship is old.
The friendship is old, though. I've known him since he was a young pissant.
It's old and worn and dying slowly.
A wonderful gentleman and also a very talented car mechanic, Mr. Ben Hauthaway.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to the show. How was your drive here from Abington?
It was delightful. Cruising about 90 miles an hour.
Fuck yeah. Going up like 495 or some shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in
It's a good
Massachusetts, if you're not going 90 on the highway, you're going too slow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, 495, I think, is kind of like the Wild West as far as highways are concerned, you know.
Oh, totally.
45 miles, I didn't see a single cop, didn't see a single anything.
But I've noticed on 495, if you are going over 65 miles an hour, they'll pull you over.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
So if they see you, you
Yeah.
will get pulled over.
You won't,
regardless
it's
of
very rare.
speed, and they will beat you down.
Yes.
But you have the likelihood that you'll see one is pretty low on 495.
This is fucking great stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great radio right here.
Real riveting stuff.
Hard hitting shit. Oh man, yeah. So we are here today talking about Unknown Mortal Orchestra's self-titled debut, which came out in 2011.
If you can believe it.
If you can believe it, I actually picked something that came out this decade.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like it did, though.
It doesn't sound like it did, but we'll get there. Anyway, yes, this came out on June 21st, 2011, on Fat Possum, True Panther, Sounds, Seeing Records, Spunk Records. Who the fuck cares? It's on a bunch of record labels. Yeah, and this is their debut album. By there, I mean Ruben Nielsen fucking wrote and I guess produced and engineered this whole thing.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
his
did we
own.
confirm that he pretty much had this is him cradle to grave?
So this is what I found.
Soup to nuts, as it were.
And then this will
The
kind
whole
of
hog, if you will.
yes, the entire hog, maybe even two hogs. We'll get there though.
Two dead pigs.
Two dead pigs.
Nipples and all.
So this quote that I have here is from Ruben Nielsen himself. It says, "I was just trying to make it sound like all the records I was listening to." So he was like getting in the history behind this is that he was getting really into these like lost psychedelic records, and he wanted to make something that sort of reminded him of that aesthetic in some way. So here he's saying, "I was just trying to make it sound like all the records I was listening to. I wanted it to sound like it was from an old archive or an unreleased album. I wanted it to be a combination of everything, but not have any rules. And I wanted to sing whatever words felt appropriate for the song. I wanted to play more guitar solos and be more jammy than the Mint Chicks." The Mint Chicks was his former band before starting this project.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second
Yes.
and just say that is a fucking phenomenal idea for any independent band to do out there for promotion. You record an album, and then if you manage to get you manage to talk to the Noise isn't a thing anymore, but like any sort of like local music publication or anything like that, you just say, "I wanted it to sound like an unreleased album, an album that you've never heard before." 'Cause that's what it's inevitably going to be. That.
Well, I mean, hopefully. I mean, I think in the contemporary pop circles, you want it to sound like the same shit that's been coming out already.
Oh, I was just going from a literal perspective because no one
Okay.
will hear your music.
That's very true. Very true. Very literal. Thank you. Thank you for that commentary.
No problem, Chief.
All right. Anyway, so continuing on, there's a lot of vintage stores in Portland, so I was running around finding dictaphones from the 60s, and I found a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and so I was recording things to tape and then putting it onto Pro Tools, just experimenting to see if I could make it sound like something from a different era, like someone had gone back in time. Yeah, so that's what he was trying to do. He went in with this sort of mission to make it sound like it came out
of
like
the 60s.
40, 50 years ago. And
He did a good job. I even asked you, I was like, oh, like this is an old recording that was released in 2011, right? And you were like, no.
no,
You idiot.
no, I think it's, I just found the aesthetic of it to be really cool, and just the fact that he put the time in to sort of make it so authentic sounding. Ben, were you about to say something?
No, I'm just sitting here.
You're just sitting here?
Just staring at you.
All right. Yeah, feel free to chime in because, I'll just keep rambling.
God knows we do it.
Yeah, so anyway, sorry guys, great radio happening right here.
Dead air.
If only you could edit it later.
Yeah, it's fine.
We don't have that technology though. We're using all stuff from the 60s because we want it to sound vintage.
Yes.
Yeah, we're recording to a dick phone or something like that.
All right, well, what do we got?
I had to take a picture of that, sorry.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, just while you're in here, make yourself right at home and photograph all of Patrick's things.
Yeah.
So you get the serial numbers of all the products.
No, so Emily has that same picture. So I had to take a picture
of the fucking Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Not my childhood cat.
Not your childhood cat.
No. It's his childhood cat now. Wow, these are his memories.
You've captured its soul through your futuristic iPhone.
Oh, what a delightful little tale that is, written by a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Alice in Wonderland, that is.
Yeah, T.S. Eliot.
Yes,
was literally a monster. Like,
I didn't know.
Yeah, this is
news.
News to
Lewis
me.
Carroll. Yeah, he.
I mean, Lewis Carroll. Sorry,
I thought you were making a joke, so I was going with it. No, Alice is based on a real girl that he had like a weird relationship with. She was like 12 at the time.
Oh man, so that's how it always goes.
Yeah, real piece of shit. Fuck Lewis Carroll.
No,
yeah, fuck him.
Out of the question.
Not my Carol.
You know what? You're probably right because there's probably not enough of them left to fuck.
Yeah, it's
at this juncture. It's a non-issue.
Absolute deal breaker.
Yeah, maybe some tattered, shreds of clothing.
And who amongst us hasn't just formed a pile of loose, moist dirt and fucked it? Am I alone on that?
I mean, it's never too late for me to start.
Hey, today's the first day of the rest of your life, Buckaroo.
I'm turning a little red over here.
Oh man! All right, let's get this shit started. Ben, what was your favorite song?
That was a tough one. End to end, this is a great album in my opinion. I'd probably have to pick "How Can You Love Me."
How can you love me when you don't like me, baby? How can you look at me and I see the lonely tears and I don't know what went wrong?
If I put the album on later on, I'm gonna find myself humming that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I felt like that was the most upbeat song on the album.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's I really like how it's definitely poppy and has that sort of, pop bounce to it and the like repetitive chorus and everything. It's kind of
it's gonna be stuck
but,
in your head for the rest of the day.
But like the riff itself like does these weird sort of like tension chords that are very strange that sort of give it its own unique style. Show that he's got more up his sleeve than just like a dumb pop song.
Yeah, it's gonna make you want to, you're gonna show someone one song, it's gonna be that one because it's gonna, hint to other things later on in the album.
Absolutely, yeah. It sort of like helps sum up exactly, what the whole feel, the whole vibe of the record is for sure. It's a good, what's it called? A good
taste.
Good example of that, I guess. I'll edit in a better word later.
Oh man,
It's just going to be like one of those TV edits.
Yeah, can you please make it as obvious as possible?
Mr. Black. All right, Christopher. What do you got?
Jello and Juggernauts.
Yeah.
Music judgments under the rainbow stand. Jello and juggernauts in my coffee hand.
Oh yeah.
It opened with that sweet ass riff. That just the whole like 20-second phrase or whatever it is that he repeated a couple times was just, it was fucking cool. And I don't mean this in an insulting way. It's going to sound that way, but it sounds like kind of like a cretin singing Natural Woman in a lot of ways. And I just mean that in the best possible way. Like I loved it.
Like the Carole King song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
for
the one.
sure. Yeah. It's just it's a fucking weird ass riff, but it works somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, every time you're like, you think you've been taken out of it, it sort of brings you back in.
Yeah,
it's a great track.
The other thing I liked about this in particular is that the title was spelled correctly.
That's that's what I look for. Really is.
Yeah, correctly
spelling.
spelled title, because the rest, a lot of the tracks in this read like a fucking Slade album.
I don't understand because I don't think I know Slade.
Come On, Feel the Noise. They did the original.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like all of their
yes.
songs were spelled with that level of quality.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And plus, like Jello, obviously they're just throwing complete abandon to the wind. Fuck all for copyright.
Yeah. Well, actually, it doesn't have a dash in it. It doesn't have a hyphen.
Okay.
So I don't know if that technically counts as any sort of infringement.
Well, Green Jello had to change
Yeah, there was
their
a
name.
copyright infringement or some shit.
Yeah, they had the dash though.
Yeah.
And fuck them.
Why?
I don't know. They only had like a couple songs.
They were probably pretty gross.
We did a cover of the Three Little Pigs song when I was in high school.
Nice.
There's a recording of it. I'll show it to you.
All right.
And they actually commented on it. We posted it online, and they were like, "Oh shit, we never heard anybody cover any of our songs before."
And you never will again.
Yeah.
Hey, think you could get us a hot meal?
Benjamin is blissfully ignorant of Three Little Pigs and Green Jello because he was born in 1993.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
So thank goodness you dodged a bullet there.
I thought I was the youngest person in the room all the time.
Nope. Not now.
I don't have to be the babe today.
Not
Leave
today.
us old men
today.
alone and let us enjoy our green Jello.
Let us die. Jim, favorite track.
My favorite track was Funny Friends.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the same vein as when we did Rush's Counterparts, how when that album kicked off, you thought it was the beginning of Land of Confusion.
Yep.
When this is kicked off, it sounded like the beginning of What I've Got by Sublime.
So naturally, that's your favorite track.
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, it just reminds me of, was it Dave Mirra's BMX video game for PlayStation? No, I liked the way the drums were pretty crunchy in this song. Actually, the hi-hat specifically, when he really opened up the hi-hat, it had this like nice fucking crunch to it.
A nice full saturation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was some creamy bass tone as well.
Yeah,
on
the
that one.
bass throughout this whole album's got a pretty good tone to it.
Yeah.
It's a really grooving song, and when he was singing in the song, it kind of reminded me of Dan Snaith from Caribou, if you're familiar.
I've heard of them. I haven't heard them.
I wrote down a note that it sounds like a good version of MGMT.
Yep. I feel like Unknown Mortal Orchestra is a good version of like a lot of bands of that cloth, of that like sort of like psychedelic in like revival. Of
Similar
lot of
time
houses.
period too.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
I've made a few comments on here about like Black Keys and Foster the People, and like those types of bands really kind of annoy me, but I feel like this guy kind of does it right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree
I got a couple
entirely.
other ones I can show you. You might be interested. Actually, one of my we'll get to that. One of my comparable albums is the same vein.
Sure. Yeah, we will get there. Stop rushing me.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Funny. Anyway.
Fuck.
Fuck. Benjamin, we're gonna do least favorite song now. What do you say?
My least favorite actually was Jello and Juggernauts. And not let me
You're a great
clarify.
piece of shit.
Let me clarify. It's not that I don't like the song. I do really enjoy the song. It's just if I have the album on and I'm not paying tons of attention to it, I find myself skipping it. It's just a little bit down tempo. It's a little bit, I get distracted very easily.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it definitely is kind of lengthy, or it feels long.
Yeah, it's just
Times.
like a little bit drawn out.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Christopher.
Oh, Pshaw, what do I have to pick? Strangers Are Strange.
When you're a
Interesting.
stranger.
Yeah, I couldn't help thinking
Me
of that through
too.
the entire thing. But
Yeah.
no, that wasn't it. For me, it was just that there didn't really seem to be anything that was trying to reach the listener. It was all just stuff that was sort of happening.
It definitely feels like, yeah, it was in the same template, but like not really doing anything new.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like there was any effort to like really have like any sort of catchy melody going, or just any hook in general. There wasn't really anything that kind of like jumped out and said like, "Hey, listen to this song again." Like when it was over, I was like, "All right, cool, next one."
Yeah, for sure. Jim, what do you say?
My least favorite, I went with Boy Witch. It just kind of reminded me of like a rejected Syd Barrett Pink Floyd song. It was just kind of all over the place. Like, you know the song Bike, where it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
fucking goddamn insane.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
That's kind of the same vein that I felt like this one was in, but it's just, you know, I don't know. It just sounded kind of all over the place to me.
I felt it was a little bit scattered as well.
Yeah, it was like just like an afterthought. He was like, I need a song to wrap this up. Let me
just tack on it.
let me just dick around on my dictaphone, and there it is.
Fantastic. I realize I didn't give my fave, so I'm gonna do two in a row
Oh, Jesus Christ, Patrick!
here. So my favorite track was Thought Balloon. Yes, Thought Balloon.
Like THOT or
No, thought is
that hoe
thought
over
is
there.
spelled correctly, but balloon is spelled with a U.
Yes, UNE actually, which I think
Value.
is the New Zealand spelling of balloon. I could be mistaken.
That stands to reason.
God
okay.
damn New Zealanders.
Yes, them down underers. Yeah, it's just a simple but brilliant riff that he brings in at the beginning and then it like brings it back again for the choruses, and like the chorus melody is basically just like a melody on a harmony on top of that riff, which is like sometimes really lame, but when like it works, it really fucking like does it for me.
Them some pretty Lennon-y harmony melodies on that one too.
Yeah, and like his voice, like, and in a few different spots, like, kind of sounds like Paul McCartney at times, like when he does some of his more high
I could hear
register shit. Yeah, and it's just like the writing is so authentic and genuine, and like it's so like A B in and out.
that. This
the old
song,
in out in out.
I mean, I know this album's got a retro vibe to it, but I feel like that song in particular really had like that '60s kind of psychedelic kind of vibe.
This is what I really dig about. I'm sorry, you go ahead, Chris.
No, I was agreeing. I just said yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I really dig about this guy, is that he's paying attention to the aesthetic aspects of it, but also really trying to like match the like, I guess, like composition, or like this the character of the composition of music that was written at the time, and I makes it sound more authentic and like more of what he's trying to do, and in that way I think he was pretty successful. All right, so I'm also gonna give my least favorite track now, which is Nerve Damage. Yeah. It's not a bad song. I'm kind of with Ben where I can actually totally listen to this front to back anytime, and I'll usually listen to this one too. It's just usually the one that I tune out. It's just like it's kind of like cutesy and silly, which I know usually I'm totally all about. But, yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say.
I had a note about this one. You remember when you were really young and you do that thing where you put and you say girl.
Yes.
That sound. That's what that reminded me of, that song.
Yeah, for those of you playing at home, Jim just did a really obscene gesture and started making a weird noise. So
now it
nerve
smells
damage
in here.
really made. Yeah, I didn't like those bits. Just to piggyback on that, but it made me feel like I was at an Alston basement show.
Yeah,
Just had
that
vibe
too.
about it.
Yeah, where it's just like very excitable and like I remember there was. Speaking of Alston basement shows,
I've never been to an Alston basement show.
oh,
I mean, if you went at this point, people would assume that you were a pervert.
yeah, absolutely. I think that
There's
ship
like a
has
pretty
sailed.
hard age cap of like 26.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry I missed that train.
Yeah, I went to see. There's this Icelandic punk band called Burn that did like a punk tour of the U.S. So like played in houses and shit. So I didn't care. I went to some fucking house in Alston, across the street from where Jason Dunn used to live.
Yeah.
And I was the oldest person there by like 10 years. And like people were looking at me like I'm a creep. And
Are
I'm
you
just
a cop?
I'm standing there with like a 40, just kind of like getting drunk around all these people, not talking to anyone, just waiting for a
Grabbing at
band
your
to play. I didn't do that. Not until later.
So yeah, Gina and I lived in Alston like right up until last year before we moved here to the boonies. But we used to have basement shows, and also our neighbor did as well with his shitty band and also his friend's shitty band. And they also practiced in our basement like once a week too. What are they called? Make it.
Shitty Beatles.
Yeah, put them on blast right now.
No, I will.
What
I
other one
I
do you
doubt that they're around anymore. No, I won't put them on blast. But man, yeah, having to hear those dumbass songs like three nights a week, and then like them doing a show once every couple months. That was a good time. Anyway,
You don't paint it like it's a good time.
I don't, but I'm gonna fix that later. Okay, where the fuck are we at now? I guess-
MVP.
oh yeah, we're at the MVP.
MVP.
What is the moment for you that best sums up Unknown Mortal Orchestra?
Honestly, I mean, it didn't take long for me. I thought even to the intro to Funny Friends.
Yeah, there we
It
go.
was just like, you know, as soon as I heard that, I honestly worked backwards with the Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I heard the third album first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I actually.
Multi-love.
Yep. So, you know, when I did get to the first album and put it on, you know, within 30 seconds, I was, you know, pretty into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same way for sure. Like,
That's always great with albums like that. Usually it happens with a band you like, but every now and then it'll happen with a band you've never heard before, where you listen to an album, you hear like the first 5 seconds, and you're like, all right, cool.
yeah. So
Good.
Ben, you actually got me into this band because a couple years ago I posted a song by Gremlins, Rabbits, and it was like a clip of it, and you were like, "Oh, this sounds kind of like Unknown Mortal Orchestra." I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check this out." And,
Yeah, when
and-
I had first heard them, you were the first person I thought of. I was like, Pat's probably gonna dig this.
yeah, I'm really glad. I fucking love this guy. He's like, out of like, you know, relevant bands, they're probably one of my favorite. He's probably one of my favorite artists because, as you all know, a lot of what I listen to isn't very relevant.
This is news.
So it's like Unknown Mortal Orchestra and like modern neo soul, and then a bunch of fucking dad rock.
So Gremlins put out Rabbits 2 years ago?
I mean, it was a year and a half ago, but yeah, it was like September 2016.
Christ.
I
Cruel
get
Yeah.
passage
So,
of time,
I
huh?
do have to say that you know, you mentioned the other day in our little chat about putting projects to rest and things like that you're gonna take a rest with Gremlins, and I'm heartbroken because this was finally my chance to shine as a prog drummer, and you're fucking taking it away from me.
All right, no, I'm not putting it to bed. I'm just taking a break from it.
Yeah,
And
you put it to bed, it's still gonna wake up. I mean, you know,
it's
unless
never
it's
too
gonna
late.
die in its sleep, but.
Those little guys are gonna put them in the microwave. Anyway, talking about my music some more.
God
Yeah.
damn it, Patrick! I want to play Gremlins.
So, MVP. For me, it was the bass playing on How Can You Love Me?
Yeah.
chorus bit was just gonna kiss the anus.
Yeah,
Like a
total.
chef.
That's a total smooch anus.
Yeah, I
anus.
had a note about that as well.
Yeah, those little licks in the bridge too.
Oh yeah, no, damn
Fucking
fine bass
sick.
playing. It was to the point where I almost found the guitar in that song to be redundant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to the guitar in that song at all.
Yeah, it's
I had
such
a note about
sick
in
bass line.
the bass tone in Jello and Juggernauts as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
What do you got?
Talk to us.
Are you gonna
That's not
share?
my MVP. I'm just saying.
Well, just tell us what it is, you silly
I
bastard.
don't know. I just like the way it sounds. Jesus Christ.
What did it sound like? though?
I don't know. I'm a drummer, okay? I don't fucking know what anything sounds like. I don't know how to make cool chord progressions like you guys, and it bothers me.
I was just thinking of Miss Swan from Mad TV. It sounded like a man.
He look like a man.
Oh, good.
What a shitty TV show that was.
You know what?
What an old reference too.
I used to, and it's funny because I loved that show, and then I
was
look
a
back, I'm
kid.
like, wow, that show fucking sucked.
So like
Yeah, not good.
the last few seasons of it, I actually kind of enjoyed because it's clear that they just like didn't give a fuck anymore.
Although-
and like Will Sasso is actually like pretty hilarious.
Dude, Will Sasso doing Tony Soprano
yeah,
was fucking hilarious.
and Fred Durst, like those two impressions are like, oh, but they had Frank Caliendo, ugh, which is like,
I just remember him when he had his TV show on TBS. And I remember all the
Frank
commercials for it.
TV.
Yeah,
And it bombed after like one episode.
yeah, because all he could do is like a really shitty George Bush imitation, and it's like that does not a television show make.
yeah, it was like John Madden and George W. Bush.
Yeah.
He was like a poor man's Daryl Hammond.
Yeah, I just remember at the very end of it, like he was dressed up in a suit, and he tried to do like a George Bush facial expression, but like anyone can fucking do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, TBS, very funny. And that was like his fucking impression. That was about how good it was. It angered me so much that man had a fucking TV show.
Was this like a George W. Bush
To the point
impression?
where Chris broke some things.
I mean, I guess I did just get pretty emphatic about it, but
I think this show came out during the Obama administration too, so like it probably wasn't
It
exactly
was
striking while the
beginning of
iron
it.
is hot.
yeah, I think it was close to the end of the Bush reign. And,
Yeah.
like, dude, this would have probably landed a little bit better in 2003, not 2008.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
What a fucking piece of shit Frank Caliendo is.
I have more esteem for George W. Bush at this point than I do for Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, he's a fucking lapsed alcoholic painter. He's like your wacky grandpa that you have to see at Christmas and says some racist things, but you know that deep down he's a good guy.
Who, Frank Caliendo or the former president?
The former president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know he was painted. And
No, Frank Caliendo is not a good man.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not.
All right.
I mean, I
never
can't say
heard
that with any sort of conviction, but his television show is terrible.
Frank, if you're out there and you want to come on the show and
Yeah,
defend yourself.
Yeah, impress us with some of your world-class impressions.
Speaking of, calling people out to come on the show, I know when we did Jukebox Zeros, I really kind of tore Joey Jordison apart. I actually kind of had a realization while I was driving over here.
I think you also tore him apart on this
I think I
program
did
as
too.
well.
So I had a realization while I was driving over here that I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at Joey.
Okay.
I'm mad at the fans of Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's an overrated drummer. It's not his fault. I mean, he does what he's got to do.
Yeah.
He's doing what he's got to do. It's these fucking fans. I got
Well,
a problem.
it's the fans are
It's
always
not
the
his fault
problem.
if he's a fucking awesome drummer.
So Joey, you shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry.
All right.
All right, any more air clearing before you give an MVP? Or
Oh, I have a lot, but
do you have any opinions you want to put out there?
Maybe now's not the time.
We'll take it offline. All right, James.
Oh yeah, it's my turn to talk again.
MVP moment.
My MVP moment was actually so after in Nerve Damage, the noise that I made, the weird guitar thing, the song slams in. Song slams in.
Ah, there it is.
And that's my MVP.
Excellent.
Some slammage.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get some slammage. I wasn't sure because like this record doesn't like
Doesn't slam.
It doesn't.
not
I'll
really
always
slam.
find something that slams. It's just like those assholes who go to like a fucking Dresden Dolls concert and they find some way to mosh to it. I'm the guy who finds the thing that slams.
You're the
There
guy in the
is-
mosh pit.
Yeah.
Every single show that I've went to, regardless of who the artist is, there is always some bro dudes like ready to throw the fuck down. I was at like Silver Sun Pickups, and there were like bros that were like, yeah, like singing right along to it. Like any fucking show. I bet you could go to like a Fortet show and you'd see
The
bros.
only show I've ever been to that was not the case was I've seen Interpol a couple times. And
Really?
everyone's a little too melancholy to jump around.
Everyone,
Yeah,
yeah, they're
I
all a
can
bunch
see
of
that.
sad boys.
I'm thinking there'd be
Fair
some
enough.
like Brooklyn bros there, like ones that are a little more confident.
I didn't think they had bros in Brooklyn.
Oh, I mean,
They must.
where hipsters are ubiquitous, like, you know,
They must have bros.
they're going to
down
be
there.
bro, you know,
Yeah.
they're the mainstream. They're like the baseline person.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I saw Dresden Dolls live once.
Did anybody mosh?
Oh, well, so it was a long time ago. It was in New Hampshire. It was before their first album. It was like right after their first album came out.
Oh wow.
And it was at Curly's Cafe on 101 in Amherst, Milford, New Hampshire. And Deegan's band Fetish Chicken played with them.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was super weird. But there's this girl who was standing in front of me and my friend Pat who was dancing, and it looked like she had her right arm in the air and was holding it up as if she was holding like an apple in it. And as she was dancing throughout, she just kept twisting it and was just kind of like moving her whole body around and twisting her arm like this.
Not an apple, it was a light bulb.
So that was just it. So we started doing it as well. We're like, all right, cool, let's do this. And then after a while, she turned around and she's like, are you guys making fun of the way that I dance? And my friend Pat's just like, I'm sorry, it just looks like you're screwing in a light bulb. And she just turned around like angrily and then just continued doing it. And so we did too.
I mean, you do you, my friend.
Yeah.
When was this? Must have been like 2003 or some shit, or
Yeah, maybe even earlier, maybe 2002.
maybe. Yeah, no. Joel Simkis did live sound for them
Oh,
probably
okay.
around that time period.
Yeah, so he was probably there.
He was probably there. Yeah. All right, my MVP moment because I think it's my turn.
It sure is.
Fuck, where's my phone? Anyway, I think my MVP moment was the chord progression in Jello and Juggernauts. Just that whole fucking beginning riff there is just
Heck
so
yeah.
it's just so weird and like you really get an idea of like just the distinctiveness of that like the way that this guy writes is very distinctive and like interesting. It's like he's trying to do something that's kind of R&B with these leading tones, but it's also like kind of weird and dissonant at points. So like almost like a like you said, a Cretan version of it. Like it, you know, we got like, it's like if Stevie Wonder had like got his head knocked in with a blunt object.
Yep.
But yeah, no, he's a little more intelligent than that. I'm not really giving him
he's
enough
also
credit.
he's not an idiot. He just sounds
Yeah.
like one. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, I should know. I fucking sound like an idiot too.
Yeah, we all do. Anyway, Jim, were you about to say something?
Were we talking about Stevie Wonder?
We were.
And
I
how
was.
he's lying to everybody and he's not actually blind?
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
Infowars.
Yeah, this is Jim's sort of truth or cause.
No, I don't give a shit.
Like, what would he have to gain from telling people that he was blind?
To be fair, back in the 70s, and if he went around just like, oh yeah, I'm blind, and then was like a virtuoso at every instrument, that would get him some pretty fucking fast cred.
That's very true. The dude was also like talented enough that he didn't need to
True.
like have a sense taken away from him. But maybe he did.
Was it taken away, or was he born that way?
I think it was I think he was born with this vision, and I think he might have had some illness, and like that was a side effect of the medication.
man.
Maybe, I don't know. That I could be
That's
mixing
rough.
that up. And it happened to my uncle actually. He had polio, and like one of the side effects of the medication made him deaf.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Yeah, I mean it was the 50s or some shit. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's what happens.
it's terrifying when you think about how close we are to like just like bloodletting and like leeches and shit medically.
Oh, totally. I was just thinking about the other day how close we are to like, this is really awful, but like women dying during childbirth was like not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's like really fucked up.
There are actually still some hospitals that infant mortality is.
I mean, around the world, of course, and you know.
No, honestly, even in the United States, there's still hospitals that can't pull it together. Apparently,
they just
really need to get their act together.
they couldn't hack it.
Boise, Idaho, get your fucking shit together.
We're putting you on notice.
Oh goodness, this is a really, really, really wonderful topic of conversation for a lighthearted music podcast
There's
with my
been
buddies.
nothing lighthearted about our podcast. What the fuck are you talking about?
Whew. All right.
Jim, I have a request for you. Can you imitate Frank Caliendo as George Bush talking about child death in Boise, Idaho?
Let me try to channel this for a second. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it. Hey, no, I can't. Boise, Idaho.
Infant mortality.
Stop letting dead babies die. Wait,
Boys, Idaho, I want you to let them children live. All right?
Our
That's
infant mortality is the greatest. It's the biggest.
It's huge.
It's huge. My Trump isn't that good. I don't want to.
Don't worry. I guarantee it's better than Frank Caliendo's.
I don't want to fucking know. I don't even give a shit. There's like another Trump show coming on, isn't there, on Comedy Central?
Oh, God.
I know. It's like, it's not funny.
Was it? There was a Comedy Central show. It was like Lil Bush or something like that.
There's
right?
Lil Bush and That's My Bush, which was the
right.
one that the South Park guys did. And they pulled it off the air post 9/11.
Yeah.
Or some shit. But anyway,
Comparable
that's old
album.
news. Old news, that 9/11. So yeah,
the kids that were born in the same year that 9/11 happened are now old enough to.
That was 2001.
Oh right, yeah.
they're still driving cars and stuff though. They're still old enough to.
No, some of them.
It's okay.
Some of them are old enough now.
It just seemed like you didn't
They're
know
old
what
enough
year
to buy
it was.
porn.
I was just trying to clarify what year it was because you seemed confused.
I'm always confused. I don't know. I
no,
can't do
2000
fucking
is
math.
when the 18-year-olds are born now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Glad we all got that out of the way.
Now that that's covered.
I'm sorry. Jesus. Am I
for all you creeps out there. Anyway,
No.
Quick math.
quick math. Benjamin, comparable album.
This was a tough one for me. I don't really know much that's sound wise similar, so I went more on feeling. And I picked Jay Som's Everybody Works. Both of the albums to me are just like, it's a warm summer day, you got nothing to do, so you're just gonna put this album on.
Awesome. What is it? Jay Som?
Jay Som.
Jay Som. How's
In
it
the
spelled?
album Jaysom with a space in the middle.
Jaysom. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Cool. Christopher?
I'm actually going to go with something it reminded me of in sort of the opposite direction, where sonically it was a lot cleaner, but I don't think stylistically it was all that different, but it was much more of a downer album. There's this band, I think they're from Australia even, called Snowman, and they put out a record called Absence that was really fucking good, and Paul and I from Very Lumar were both listening to it a ton when we were working on Breaker, and it's just like a really cool, atmospheric, downer version of this sort of vibe, which I kind of got.
Awesome. Jimmy?
So I know you were talking about that whole kind of retro vein and people having a hard time pulling it off. But Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats album is called Bloodlust, also 2011. Really like psychedelic retro kind of blues rock kind of dealy. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out.
Sick. I'm going to compare it to another new band. These guys are from Australia as well. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
It's a mouthful.
Yes. They put out a record in 2014, or is it 2014? Either, I don't know, probably 2013, 2014, called Oddments, which was another like very similar like neo psychedelic, really paying attention to getting like the aesthetic and like where it sounds like there's a fucking gym sock pulled over all the microphones and shit. And it's been like recorded into a dictaphone.
Dick.
Yeah, they're both bands that I are groups from, oddly enough, just kind of same corner of the globe that are kind of doing similar things. King Gizzard is a little more like prog metal than these guys.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah,
maybe from you.
Probably from me because
I haven't, I
I'm
think, from you.
yeah, I'm kind of nuts about them. Like I said, you know, I don't like a ton of new artists, but I do like these guys. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of when I hear this record.
When you said Jim Sock, the first thing that came into my mind was Jim Sokolov.
Oh,
He fixes
yeah.
problems.
Yeah, and I remember him from TV commercials when I was in like second grade. Like during the summer, I'd be home during the day and I'd watch like Chips or whatever.
Yeah.
And there'd be a Jim Sokolov commercial. And I saw him in a commercial within the last 5 years, and he hasn't aged enough. He has not aged enough. So I suspect he is feeding off of something. He is a vampire.
He's
Maybe he
feeding
just-
off of
now-
the problems.
Yeah, he feeds off of people's problems.
That's
Then
his
he becomes
solution.
Strong.
That's his solution.
No, I don't need any payment. I just need your pain.
He's
I'll
like
do
one
it
of those
for
fucking
both.
things in Harry Potter that like suck like energy from people.
Oh, the Dementors.
The
I
Dementors,
think?
yeah. He just kind of like hovers over like a car accident victim and like just sort of takes away their misery.
Like the person's coming in the office and they're like, yeah, it's like the guy just wasn't even looking out for me. He just came fucking slamming right into me at 75.
So if we're on board with Sokolov being like this malevolent sort of thing, that was
Succubus.
like, yeah, exactly. Do you think that like Barry Feinstein or like any of the others are like kind of fighting the good fight, and by day they're
Possibly.
lawyers or attorneys, but by night they're Sokolov hunters?
You know, this sounds like a great Netflix series in the making. Just like a bunch of like daytime fucking like mesothelioma fucking ambulance chaser lawyers. Your loved one has suffered. Yeah, just these fucking like, Better Call Saul
Can we
type
talk
assholes.
about these lawyers and their commercials?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You've seen the Jim Sokolov. You've seen the Heavy Hitter commercials.
I don't know if
I think he's more Rhode
I think
Island,
Maybe, nah.
but he's
That
got
sounds
some
great.
He's got some pretty crazy commercials where like they're like shitty CGI, and he's like driving a Lamborghini down a football field, and a football is coming into his sunroof.
Is it like the general style like,
Kind of,
graphics?
yeah.
All right, cool.
And there's one down in Texas. My friend showed me, and he's the Law Hawk.
Oh, I've heard of
You've heard of
Lawhawk.
Lawhawk?
I've heard of Lawhawk. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I would definitely trust that man with my case for sure.
Can we
He's got talons of justice.
talked about can we talk about dictaphones for a second?
Yeah,
Is it a wax cylinder? I was trying to read up a little bit
No,
about
it's just like a portable like a cassette memo thing.
Yeah, I know, but
That's-
like that's like the more modern one. But like when I looked up like dictaphone, like the original dictaphones, it looked like it was like a wax
well,
cylinder.
that's why I asked if this was like UK or Australia or New Zealand, because
Oh,
they
okay.
tend to like just kind of lump all of that shit in under that name.
Gotcha,
So it was
gotcha,
probably
gotcha.
just like a cassette recorder.
yeah.
Cassette recorder.
I think he was saying he found them at like thrift stores, which kind of makes sense
Yeah.
to me that you would find a bunch
He
of
finds
those.
like a wax cylinder at like a Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
This will do quite nicely.
Did you ever see the video of speaking of wax cylinders? There's like a guy in like a historical society guy, and he's got like the original wax cylinder that was it Thomas Edison? Yeah,
Yeah.
he recorded Mary Had a
Was there
Little-
another Edison?
Yeah.
Was it
No,
Thomas
I was making sure
Edison?
it was Thomas Edison, but
No, it was Larry Edison.
he had like the original like wax cylinder that he recorded Mary Had a Little Lamb on, and he was like showing it, and he cracked it and like broke into pieces, and he just goes, "Oh shit!"
What a dick.
I mean, thank God it's like, I have that low res MP3 of it, so we're fine.
Yeah,
Did you ever hear the They Might Be Giants song that was recorded to wax cylinder?
No.
Yeah, apparently.
Particle Man. No, that's
Yeah, no, you can tell that this was not recorded on anything remotely modern.
yeah.
But basically, yeah, apparently they went to the Edison laboratory and went in and played a song in one take and then put it on an album.
Is that part of the tour?
part of the tour.
Do you get to go-
Play a song recorded on
Yeah,
a
you
wax
get to record it
cylinder.
on a wax cylinder.
Oh, that would be pretty awesome, actually.
It would.
So you're taking the tour again? Yeah, I'm working on an album.
Wait till we go into the studio, record one song, and then just take that song to the stage. All right, thank you, good night. And then like next week, you go in and record a new song, and then just do that a bunch of times. It's like the least efficient way to get your music out there. I think that would be a pretty cool gimmick. Oh, all right. So that's Unknown Mortal Orchestra's self-titled record from 2011. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna rate this fucker too.
Rate this fucker.
Rate this fucker.
All right, Benjamin. Shit. What do we do? 10.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Right. Yeah. So, how many stars out of 10?
Oh, geez, I don't know, like 8 or 9. I like this album a lot. Honestly, I like everything he's done a lot. Everything I've heard so far by him.
I would agree, and I've been getting into Multi-Love lately.
That one is honestly my favorite album.
It's so weird. I kind of slept on it at first because I got really into this first album a lot, and the second one I kind of started digging my way into, and then like a couple months ago I threw this on. And I fucking love that album now. It's just so good front to back, and it's good to see that he's still like progressing.
Yeah, it's
as a writer. And
what I like about him as a writer is that each album has its own distinct feeling and sound and everything, but they're all super cohesive, and you can tell that he's the one writing it.
Yeah.
Still. And you can honestly see him like growing through his life. Like the first album's super bright and happy, second album's kind of dark, and then the third album's kind of leveling out.
Yeah, he's kind of like just moving on and trying to be like kind of just like leave it behind him, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got?
I would give it a 6. I liked this album. I didn't love it.
Okay.
Just not really my cup of tea overall. But there was some stuff on it that I did really enjoy.
Okay.
I was gonna give it a 6, but I'm gonna give it a 7 for the fact that motherfucker tricked me. I thought this was an album recorded maybe in the 70s.
I wouldn't take it to heart, though. I don't think he was out for you specifically.
No, he might have been. I don't know. There were a lot of people out to get me. But yeah, I'll give it a 7. I enjoyed the album. There really wasn't a song on here I was like, nah. I listened to it a few times on the way here because it's a pretty short album, which I know Christopher appreciates because he hates anything that's over like 25 minutes long.
Yeah, that's why I picked Talk for my last.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, which, by the way, I had to say, more clearing the air, I actually listened to that album a little more after we did the podcast, and I appreciate it a lot more now that.
Yeah.
And now that you've given it a low score and it's
Shut
forever.
Fuck up.
No, I did the same
glad
thing.
to hear it, though.
I did the same thing with fucking Songs of Faith and Devotion. I really grew on me
Yeah.
after that episode.
Although I was trying to place the vocals for Sigur Rós to something, and I realized as I was listening to it, it kind of reminds me of somebody having a fever dream. just like has a 104 fever and is just rolling around in their bed, like sweating and like going, yeah.
I feel like I'm just a fucking gigantic balloon. Yeah.
What would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, you crazy
Yeah.
motherfucker.
You know what? It's been thinking about this a while, but I really just I dig the fuck out of this record. I love everything that this guy does. Ruben Nielsen. He's like I said, he's one of my like new favorite writers and arrangers and shit. I just dig everything he does, and I think like this album kind of. I was telling Chris the other day, it kind of felt like an RPM record to me, because like where he was like it sounded like he was trying out a new style. So his former band, the Mint Chicks, they were a punk band. They were kind of like an indie punk band. Like,
so it was a pile of crap, and he was just done with it. He's
actually,
I'm gonna
like
do my own thing.
Well, I think that he just kind of was moving on from that, like that style, that sort of energetic style, and like just wanted to get onto a new scene. But like he was always like a very talented writer. But yeah, it's just like fuck, where is that going with this? Anyway,
Nope,
I
old
really
man
like
lost his train of thought.
Don't do
More like,
drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't do don't do
fucking water boy. Kids, don't do drugs.
Don't do McDonald's, man. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Cool. That rating comes out to a 7.75 then. averaged out between us. So
Wait,
not too bad.
did you give Ben's as an 8 or a 9? 'Cause
I
you
gave
said
it as a
both.
9.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
Yeah.
We don't do 8.5s or anything.
Can we do halves?
No,
moving forward?
fuck no.
Do you want me to redo this shit?
No.
All right.
Well, okay, but
Stop yelling at me,
but the
Dad.
scores come out.
I'm not your father.
The scores come out to decimal points though, but then like once we start bringing in other decimal points, it just opens up
We start-
a can of worms.
We might start getting a little too far away from the period on that one.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need like that many decimal points.
All right.
But
Jesus.
I don't know.
Decimal point. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking cretin.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Shall we plug?
Yeah, I think we're at the point where we can plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Ben, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
by
you
the
for
way.
having me. This was a fantastic endeavor.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely come on either this podcast or maybe you can do Jukebox Zero sometime.
Yeah,
Find
I'd love to
something.
be back. This is wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. And anyway, you're also a very talented car mechanic. I don't know if you have like a place you want to plug or just find them on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just lurk on Facebook. I don't really have a specific page or anything. It's a seasonal gig anyway, so you're not going to hear from me until April.
But like, if you're looking for a car mechanic who like will be fair and like isn't a douchebag.
Oh yeah, if I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I'm not going to fix your car. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to try to fix your car.
I wish I knew you when I had my 73 Volkswagen bus.
I actually just bought an 89 Volkswagen Jetta.
Nice.
Fantastic. All right, Christopher, you got anything going on?
Yeah, actually, just did the RPM challenge. Just finished it and put out a record under my name called 7 Months at Chimney Rock. And that is on the Spotify, the Bandcamp, the iTunes, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's very good.
Thank you.
You know, Christopher kind of undersells it, but I really dug it. I thought it was like really cool to hear that sort of organic backdrop for you.
Yeah, no, I really dug it. Both
Thank
your
you.
both your IPMs, even though
thank you.
Patrick, I'll get to that in a second.
I traumatized him.
Clearing the air some more.
All right, Jim, you got anything?
So I was
going
gonna
on?
plug, obviously both your RPMs. Patrick had me up till 2:00 in the morning the other night, mastering his shit.
What a shit brick.
And I did a little bit of weird percussion for Christopher's. So check those out. Also, I think we should all plug our good friend Mr. Deegan had a bunch of his shit stolen.
Oh, yeah.
out of
yeah.
his car. One of the best guitarists I think I've ever met.
Yeah,
Worked with us on
agreed.
the Desk record. So if you'd like to donate some money to Deegan so he can buy some of his shit back, GoFundMe.com /Deegan Music DEGANMUSICIAN -- and send him some love.
Yeah, it really sucks. He basically makes his living off of playing music and had almost all of his shit stolen. So if you can give anything, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's yeah, like you were saying, it's his livelihood. You know, he needs
Yeah.
it to fucking work. to
Yeah,
make
exactly.
money. So
And he
Definitely
fucking
good
kicks
cause.
ass.
yeah, and
He's
he's
a
just
good
a
dude.
great dude.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, like these guys were talking about, I did the RPM challenge. My record is under a new project called Smell. That's SMELL. And
We're all like thinking about how to spell here. tonight.
I'm struggling. I'm thinking about my McDonald's order right now. That's what's like, am I getting a Max Jr.? Am I getting a fucking Shamrock Shake?
Oh fuck! I
Oh, it's
forgot
that
about
time of year.
It's the fucking season. Yeah.
I think Christopher just got an erection.
You gotta pry this. Anyway, yeah, so you can find the new record Woof on Bandcamp at smellma.bandcamp.com. That's like smell my Bandcamp.
also came out very good.
Yeah, thank you.
it a
And
lot.
I mastered that bitch.
Yeah, kind of like a new direction for me, and I think I'm eventually going to take it to the stage pretty soon. I'm feeling good about it. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah, thanks again, Ben, for being
Yeah,
on the show.
thanks for having me. This has been great.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming out to Marlboro to the Smell Cave.
Smell cave.
Smells like Lieutenant Dan. It smells like cigarettes in here.
Will we ever do an episode where one of us does not reference Forrest Gump?
Oh no, it's just like part of the tradition.
Oh,
now.
should we do one of the episodes, the anniversary episode? We should do the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God. So like Buffalo Springfield, and then like, who knows?
I don't know. A lot of stuff that's
Better
not
run
very
through
good.
the jungle.
I like CCR.
I
All
do
right.
too.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I've got going on. Cool. So thanks for listening again. This is Old Men Yell at Cloud. I am Patrick.
I'm Christopher.
I'm Jim.
And remember,
See you in hell.